What do you think about? Have you heard of this thing called interspecies? This interspecies AI communication. Correct me if I'm. I mean, we can read it, but what was explained to me was that it's a new artificial intelligence that's being developed, like a language intelligence that can decipher animal communication for us and basically translate it into something we can understand. Yeah, blow that up so we can read the bio of this company. Interspecies Internet is a multidisciplinary global think tank to encourage the acceleration of interspecies communication with 4,500 plus members, including leading sector professionals. A primary premise of the project is that the interspecies Internet can be used to both link non-human species that are not collocated and can use its computational capacity to introduce AI and machine learning methods to transduce signals from one species into coherent signals for another. So yeah, they want to basically translate animal language into human language.
I feel like something just went through my mind. I feel like if I was to compile a series of sentences which had probably came off all the animals that I've chased over the years, a lot of those sentences would run off the narrative of, why the fuck are you chasing me? Fuck off. Who is this wanker? Fuck.
Yeah, you're probably right, dude.
Straight out. That'd be like the concise thing. Yeah.
But how fucked up would that be, dude, if we could like telepathically communicate with animals?
There was a dog that I've seen. Okay, so there's been a number of animals over the years which I think have really been individualized as having this next level of intelligence. One was a African grey parrot called Alex. I think that was one. I think there was also a gorilla that was in captivity.
Was that Amy?
May have been.
No.
And a dog. The most recent one was the dog where, you know, they've got, I think it's called a lexigram, where they have all these different buttons that symbolize different things, like outside,
right,
food, water. And this one was actually a really complicated like lexigram where there was almost like questions in it that evolved around motion. And I believe it's one of those, is it a Labradoodle? Like the poodle cross a Labrador?
Yeah.
One of those ones?
Yeah.
Really intelligent. This was the most interesting part, was the dog went up to it and it pressed it simultaneously. It pressed the button that said, "What am I?" and then walked over and looked into the mirror and looked at the owner.
What?
That's deep.
Wow.
That's deep. That's deep.
Wow.
That's deep. What am I? That's deep.
That is very deep. What the fuck, man? That's interesting. Yeah, I gotta find that.
Coco.
That's it. Because there was a famous scene with Robin Williams with Coco. And I think it learnt sign language, it was able to communicate. There's an interesting study that they done years ago, and this is actually really scary. I think is one of those Russian experiments where they put a child and a chimpanzee together at a very, very young age, and essentially the experiment was to teach this chimpanzee human knowledge and human traits and behavior and all that kind of stuff. I think the experiment only went on for a couple of months and then they had to shut it down. You know why? Because it was actually the child that was starting to learn the traits of the chimpanzee, because animals have such a hardwired behavioral system, and everything that they have is so hardwired. And it was interesting to see that it was the human brain that had that plasticity or that adaptability, and it was actually absorbing more information from...
No way.
So yeah, and which I thought was fascinating, truly fascinating. You know what I mean though?
Yeah, we are so different from apes. I mean, it's our closest living relative species, and we supposedly came from apes, and we evolved from apes, but we're so fucking different. There's such a huge gap between the most developed primate to a human being. It's almost like there was some sort of intervention there.
Yeah,
That's like the theory that a monkey ate a mushroom, a psychedelic mushroom, and the brain grew 5 times the size. And what's the name of that theory? It's called the I forget the name of it right now.
I've never heard
But
of
yeah,
it.
there's all these crazy theories on how he, because there's nothing really close to us in the world. Like, think about every single animal that exists on Earth, and then us. We are so we're miles apart from every single one.
Completely. It's funny. I just
The
saw
stoned ape theory. That's what it's called.
the stoned ape theory. I just saw that last image and it reminded me of Travis the chimp. You know that story?
No.
That's terrifying.
Who's Travis the chimp? Is this the one where the chimp ripped apart the little girl?
Yeah, that woman, the next door neighbour, it ripped her face off. Yeah.
Oh.
And the 911 call and that lady's. Ties in back to that whole animal attachment, emotional attachment with the animal and all that kind of stuff. And this lady had a very unhealthy relationship with this chimpanzee. It lived in her house and and all that kind of stuff. And this chimpanzee would look out the window like every day and see the next door neighbour because this lady was friends with this other lady, and it just would death stare her. You know what I mean? And it probably waited its entire life to be like, I'll get you one day.
Really?
You know what I mean? Because once again, like to a chimpanzee like that, like time doesn't exist. That's it, Travis. Chimp.
Is that what she looks like after? Did she die?
No,
She lived?
Is she still? No, she lived. Yeah, she lived.
Oh, wow.
So-
she got a new face.
Travis the chimp managed to escape from the enclosure one day, and it essentially mauled this lady to death. I think it bit her hand off, it bit her face off, and this lady all the while, I think she was, the owner was like stabbing it with a kitchen knife whilst on the phone to 911.
Wow.
And it's this, I think at that point in time, particularly in the US, it really raised a lot of question about the exotic animals or, these dangerous animals which were being kept as literally kitchen pets, and, this kind of brings into the whole Tiger King thing now, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that this was, a real tragic and bizarre.
Monkeys are terrifying,
They
man.
are.
Have you seen the videos of monkeys stealing kids?
No.
There's videos on YouTube of like these little monkeys. I forget where it was, but there's I don't know if I think the parent like intervened at the last minute, but these monkeys
Wow.
like stalked this little toddler and like tried to grab it and like steal it, and they were like in a tug. There it is, right there. Yeah, watch this.
Have I seen this? Maybe there's also on TikTok. Gotcha.
Look at this.
No.
He's going to use it as a form of barter.
Holy crap.
I'll give you the child back. You give me some crackers.
Like, what the fuck,
Well,
man?
I think someone was just filming that recently. I think it was in
The monkey stole a little.
it took him out in Indonesia. I think it's the macaques, and what they'll do is they will steal a wallet or a purse or a possession like a phone, and they actually use it as like a form of barter. And they'll go up to the tree and say, "Well, you give me a treat, and I'll give you the phone back." So they've been
way.
able to work that out, which I think that's another level of intelligence, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, monkeys are the one that first developed prostitution.
Really?
Yeah, I forget when the study was done or whatever, but there was a study done where they put like two male primates or chimps and a female, and how did it go? The female would end up fucking the male who gave it food.
Right.
I think that's how it went.
Right.
But basically they were both competing to see who could like bring the female the food, and the female would only sleep with the ape that brought it food.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, dude, they're bizarre.